Alright everyone, welcome back to Seduce Me. I know this isn't where we stopped off in the last video, but I decided to skip some of the stuff we've obviously already seen in Matthew's path because it was all the same stuff. But this time I'm going to choose to stay in the room instead of explore like I did in Matthew's path, so this is where things will start to be a little different. So this is where we're going to start in now. Mind you, if you look through my Twitter or you keep up with my Twitter, you'll have seen that I recorded an hour and a half of this and accidentally deleted it because I'm stupid. And so a lot of this stuff I will already know is going to happen. I hate when that happens because I always want to give my first reaction for you guys, but sometimes it's unavoidable. So just be understanding when I'm going through and I kind of already know what's happening. I may not be as like, oh my god, because I know what's going on. But we're going to get through this anyways, so this is where we're going to start. We've met up with all the demons, met their names, we know all their names. If for some reason you haven't seen that part and you want to see that part, I'll go ahead and leave an annotation to the video in Matthew's path where we go through that part and you get to meet them all, and then you can just come back to this video, and we're going to start here. So we're going to stay in the room this time since we explored last time. It was better to be safe than sorry. I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, contemplating taking a nap to make time go by faster. Staying in my room was the best option for me, both so that I wouldn't get lost and that I'd be okay in case the guards were on duty. I let out a small sigh before looking around the room. Was there anything I wanted to look at closer?
Excuse me.
Hello? Hey, buddy girl! Before I could find anything, I looked to the door towards the voice. Peeking in was the rabbit woman, cautiously remaining behind the door while looking at me.
Are you feeling okay?
It's just, demons, kind of stuck unless I die, crazy shit, but you know what, I'm fine, it's cool. Huh? Yeah, I am, thanks. Please, come in. I trusted this woman, despite barely knowing her. She assisted me in coming to this room, and she was one of Diana's comrades, so I felt that I could put my trust in her. The woman nodded before stepping into the room and closing the door behind her. She turned to me and stood by the door.
I'm assuming Diana told you.
Indeed, she did. Yeah, I'll be home tonight. That's the hope anyway.
As soon as we knew what we had to gather.
Yes.
We're positive
they're gathering stuff so they can try another way to get me home.
Be able to cast a gateway spell.
Yeah. I nodded and let out a small sigh. It would be a long wait, but it'd be worth it if it worked. The woman, however, took a step forward.
May I ask you something?
Yes, dear? I looked to the woman, slightly confused. Sure, go ahead, what is it?
Well,
I watched as the woman reached up and rubbed one of her ears, almost in nervousness. What was she nervous about? Finally, she spoke again, releasing her ear.
would you mind if I asked you about the human world?
Why the fuck not, mate? Yeah, go ahead. The human world? Why would she be curious about the human world? She was a demon that looked like an anthropomorphic rabbit. I hope I said that right. The woman hugged her large staff against her body as she shrugged.
How are things like in the human world? Is there equality amongst
I
your
like to
races?
pretend there is, but
I've
there's really
only
not.
heard stories. But since you're a human yourself, you would know.
I would. My mind ran back to the social life of the human world. At least in America, we claim to be equal, but we had a major prejudice amongst other races, or our races, whether we liked it or not. I found myself to be on neutral ground, not wishing to be extreme on either opinion, but knowing the difference between what was morally right and wrong. I looked to the woman and shook my head, making her eyes widen slightly. We're not exactly equal. I mean, we try, but we're pretty divided. However, it's only one of many problems we face. That's 100% true, girl. Mwah, on point. The woman nodded before walking over and sitting down on the bed beside me.
I see. Are there
Yes,
major wars fought because
pretty
of it?
much. I mean, well, not often, but sometimes. In a way, we have marches and movements, but we at least try not to escalate it to wars where I live. It's better to resolve things without violence.
That's smart.
Yeah,
I
but
hope
not
that
everybody
equality comes around in your world.
thinks about that. I do too. I really do too. What about here? We obviously know what's going on here, I mean. The woman shook her head, her smile turning a bit grim. I could tell that things were rough here just from looking at her expression.
We have sort of a caste system here.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of demon you are determines what life you live.
Oh.
Demons of Lilith, like Diana, are usually royals and nobles, while animal demons like me are much lower in the ranks.
Dang, you got the shit end of the stick, huh? I could hear her anger and shame just from her voice alone. Were things really that bad here? That's horrible. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. That's why I joined the rebellion. We intend to make changes, make it better.
Good.
I want to be
Good.
part of
That's
that
what
and
you
help
do
fix things.
that. Yeah. There was a confidence in her words that didn't match the look in her eyes. She knew something was off in what she said, but she expressed it anyways as her reply to me. I didn't know whether or not to prod or keep silent. I wouldn't be here long, so I decided to keep my mouth shut. The woman shook her head out as if she was scattering the thoughts from her mind and looked at me.
So, you are getting married.
That's the plan,
You
girl!
must be excited to get back
I
with your
am.
family
I'm ready to
and
go
soon-to-be
home. Please,
partner.
pretty please. Huh? Oh yeah, I'm excited to go back. For a brief moment, I had nearly forgotten that I was getting married. My mind began to wander to the one who was waiting for me, making my heart ache. As I looked down at my lap, the rabbit woman looked down as well.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you upset. But you will be home soon.
I hope. I nodded. I shouldn't have let it get me down, but I really did miss being in the human world. I think anyone in my situation would understand, especially since I was a bride. I looked at my hand, seeing my engagement ring and imagining the wedding ring that was made for me replacing it. Soon enough, it would be on my finger, and I'd be able to continue living my life as normal. Pulling myself out of my thoughts, I looked at the woman as she stood and bowed to me.
Well, I shall leave you be. I will bring food whenever it is ready, so that you
I
don't starve.
would like that. Starving would be something I would not like to happen. Thank you. I appreciate it. With that, the woman left, leaving me alone in my room to wait. I remained in my room until the night came. I was given food, which looked like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know that the food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? Now, last time we went to just eat it. This time we're going to refuse it, obviously. No way, no how. I was not in the mood to try out new things after what I'd been through, and this was not something I wanted to try at all. A knock rapped on my door, breaking me out of my train of thought. Huh? Oh, come in. The door opened to reveal Diana with a plate holding things I recognized, bread and cheese. I let out a heavy sigh of relief before Diana laughed.
I suggest not trying that.
I wasn't gonna,
As
so
good as
there
it
you go.
smells, the taste would not sit well with you.
Demon food. Instantly, I moved the bowl to the nearby table, thankful that I did not have to try it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was indeed what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food.
Good enough. Thanks.
Eat up.
Love you. Mwah. I will. I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating, surprisingly, was delicious. As I began to crave something to drink, Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand filled with clear liquid that I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quenched before I let out a sigh. I feel so much better.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Take a moment to finish eating. Then we'll head for the ritual.
Got it. I looked up at Diana, suddenly excited. Everything was prepared for her? Was it possible to go home now? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded.
We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
All right, girl. I couldn't continue eating. My mind went into an obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moving the plate and goblet to the nearby table. Let's go.
Huh? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. I want to go home and get married. I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I needed to get home, and I was tired of waiting. Diana stared before nodding and heading for the door, opening it for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relieved joy. I was heading home. Diana led me down the corridors to the war room where I had originally arrived, to reveal the table covered in plants and artifacts of different kinds. None of it made sense to me, but I had to only assume it was what was needed for the spell to work. Diana walked to the table and took note of what she saw, nodding.
This should work.
Yes.
You're in doubt?
No.
Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home.
Yes.
Do we have a human anchor?
Like I said, if you guys haven't seen that part, what happened when I fell here and when they tried to send me home, if you want to see that, the other video will be there.
No, you're on your own this time.
I just skipped it because
But
I
we'll
felt
make
like
sure you survive casting it.
it was pointless to show it when we've already seen it, pretty much, and nothing really... I couldn't really do anything different, so there was no point in showing it.
This spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which
kind
your
of-
guard can refill
Yeah,
immediately after this.
you're kind of conflicting. You're saying, oh, it's not going to take that much. Then you're saying, well, we just hope you don't die. That's conflicting.
Just make sure you don't die
Yeah,
casting
okay,
it.
all right. Diana smiled at her guards before turning to me.
So, Are you ready to return
Do
home?
you even have to ask that question? She didn't have to ask. I'm ready. Diana nodded once more before turning back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head, muttering under her breath. As she spoke, the table began to glow, as did she. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arced her back, staring at the ceiling, or arced her head back. A glimpse at her eyes made me gasp. Warm golden orbs covered her blood-red irises, glowing with magic. She was deep within the spell, and I could see it slowly draw energy from her body. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other, almost as if the lights were dancing to a silent tune. The other demon stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her fingers pointed into the air, leading the lights to follow where it directed obediently. She drew a large circle in the air, and the lights followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air. As they finally stopped moving, they burst into a bright light, causing the demons and I to cover our eyes from it. It engulfed the room, but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it before pulling the tear apart, revealing my bedroom. Diana continued to pull the tear open, giving enough space for me to jump through.
How are you gonna go through? This is your chance!
Go! I wasn't gonna let it go to waste. I gripped the bottom of my dress and rushed forward, using momentum to jump into the air and forward towards the void. I could almost reach it. I could feel the air conditioning of my room right at my fingertips.
She will never leave this world alive!
Yeah, we saw that coming. BAM! The Demon Lord's voice rang through the air just as I saw my fingertips pass through the tear. What stopped the rest of my body was a red light and force, forcing me and Diana back from the opening. Gah! I felt my body fly backwards and slam into the wall before I landed on the stone ground. I heard Diana as well land beside me with a painful thud. I looked up and felt my heart break at the tear as the tear became wrapped in red lightning, zipping itself closed and vanishing into thin air. No, this could not be.
Damn it!
Damn it!
That should have worked. How could it have failed?
Because I'm cursed, man. I'm cursed.
We must have missed something. Was there anything we had forgotten?
No.
No. I verified everything myself.
They're really pissed.
Then why was the Demon Lord able to overpower a gate spell?
I told you why, man.
I highly doubt you know either, brute.
Okay, calm down.
fighting!
Jesus,
We need
so
to
loud.
make a plan, and all of you are just being stupid! Stupid!
Are you alright, Azir?
Azir.
I'm fine. It is.
I was too lost in my mind to fully understand what was going on around me. I was so close, I felt the other side. I'd almost made it home. Why couldn't I go home? Diana's grunts of pain next to me made me shoot my head towards her, and I watched her slowly push herself off of the ground and glare at the table.
The Demon Lord must have done something more than simply bring her here.
What could he have done?
Cursed me.
Demon Lord is incapable of doing
Cursed
anything
me!
of the sort. His
I
lackey
keep telling you
Tetrix
guys don't
must have
listen.
done something to her.
A spell?
The curse.
There we go, finally. I looked to the rabbit woman, seeing her stare wide-eyed at me. The other demons stared at me as well, and suddenly I felt like I was on display. Was something wrong with me?
She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane. In order to leave,
Yeah.
she'd have to
Die.
die.
What? My mind went blank. Did the Demon Lord really curse me? Was I forced to stay in this world until I died? I could never go back?
Are you suggesting a barrier curse?
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
But dark magic like that requires.
The blood of demons.
1,000 demons. He must have sacrificed part of his army to cast a curse on her that would prevent her from leaving.
Yeah,
The Demon Lord is that desperate for her.
it seems so.
The only way to break that kind of curse is to kill the caster, the Demon Lord himself.
And that is what we shall do.
She's trapped here until this war is over.
No! My body began to shiver violently. The Demon Lord killed 1,000 demons just to trap me here? Why? Why? I slammed my fist into the ground and began to scream. I want to go home! Why? I could feel the sympathy and anger in the room, but I didn't care. I was beyond livid. I was far past broken. I was seeing red. As my voice ripped through the air, a bright light erupted the room once again. Everyone covered their eyes, but Diana quickly scrambled to get on her knees and cover me with her body. And here are the lovely gentlemen and their wives. We get to see Matthew's wife. Since we picked Matthew first, we get to see what she'll look like. She held me tightly as the light invaded the space and slowly began to fade. As the light finally died, everyone moved their hands to see what had happened. In the air was a white tear that was slowly opening, facing down towards the table. Something was coming. I could feel it in the air. The guard summoned his spear and pointed it at the tear, glaring at it and gritting his teeth.
Something's coming!
Yeah, we can all see that. In reply, Diana summoned what looked like a saber and placed it in front of us.
Ready yourselves! It could be the Demon Lord!
It's not! The other demons in the room readied themselves and stared at the tear, either holding a weapon or preparing a spell. I felt the air change, becoming heavier as the tear began to grow. The energy around it began to pulsate, making everyone in the room that much more tense. I stared at the tear as well, frightened as to what was coming. Was it the Demon Lord? His minions? My mind began to cycle through fearful ideas of what it could be. Hey! My heart almost stopped. Fallen from the tear and landing on the table were the 5 incubi brothers. They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. However, as the last brother landed, the boys fell to one side, toppling off the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of incubi, confused and surprised. As the tear in the air closed, the ogre man was the first to lower his sword, surprisingly.
What the hell?
Who are they?
Careful, they could be the Demon Lord's men.
You're halfway, right? There are the sons, No! The rebels looked at me as I stood up, Diana following and still protecting me, and as I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked from having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. There they were, right in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I'd first met them. They had all been on the floor of my mansion unconscious and wounded. Now they were in front of me in the demon world. I know them. I stared at the one I was meant to marry, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. Hey, boy. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. I was going to go home. The question was, how? As the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second tear opened above them, causing everyone to look up, and their wives. 4 women dropped down from the tear and somehow managed to fall into the arms of the incubi behind Sam. Hey, Veela. They still have weird fucking names.
Okay?
She is so cute. I love her. And I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hidden by the text, but she's got kitty stockings. She's my kind of girl.
I gotcha. It's okay.
No wonder Matthew picked her.
Eric!
And there's the fucking pincher lady. I don't fucking know.
I've got you.
James.
Whoa, are you all right?
I stared wide-eyed. Their wives came too? I watched as the boys and the girls finally planted themselves on the ground before looking around. As Sam spotted me, however, his eyes widened in both surprise and anger. His gaze pinned itself to Diana, who still stood protectively in front of me, and his eyes instantly became painted over in an almost harsh gold color. Oh, fuck.
You're fucking dead!
Damn, Sam, calm down. Oh, shit. Within a blink, Sam and Diana vanished and reappeared against the wall behind me. As I turned to see what was happening, I gasped at the sight. Sam was pinning Diana to the stone wall, crushing her neck and holding her high enough that her feet were dangling above the floor. Damn, Sam, no, man.
You bitch! I will tear you to shreds!
He is intense! Sam! Before I could move, however, the guard jabbed the blunt end of a spear into one of Sam's knees, causing Sam to release Diana and buckle to his knees.
Mangy dog!
Ooh, fuck, this is getting intense. The guard quickly twirled his spear around and thrust it forward to skewer Sam, but missed as Sam fell back and laid himself across the ground, glaring up at his attacker. Filled with an almost terrifying rage, the guard stepped forward and went for another stab at Sam. Fortunately, Sam pushed the weapon away from him and directed it to the side, causing the blade to clang against the ground. The guard quickly pulled back and thrust the spear forward again, but hit the floor again as Sam turned his body to the side. However, the guard wouldn't let Sam get up that quickly and continued to pull back and thrust his spear forward at Sam over and over, practically trapping him against the ground. I wanted to step in, but was too afraid of the blinding speed at which the guard was jamming his spear at Sam. I didn't want to provoke him to stab me in a blind adrenaline rush. I looked to Diana, seeing her coughing and holding her neck while gasping for air. Yeah, she needs a moment. Her hand was glowing a soft purple tint, as if she was healing her neck from Sam's attack. Everyone else, however, had backed up away from the fighting pair, not wanting to become collateral damage from either of their attacks. As Sam sat up, the guard retaliated with a lightning-fast response and kicked Sam back down, slamming the bottom of his foot into Sam's face to do so. However, before the guard could slam his spear down on his target, Sam rolled out of the way and got up on his hands in a spinning handstand. I had never seen him fight like this, even with Malix, but Sam was still undoubtedly trained in combat, even when he didn't have the upper hand. Sam flipped onto his feet and faced off against the guard in a martial arts defense stance before some barrage of spear thrusts forced Sam to duck, lean, and dodge away from the guard. Unrelenting, the guard thrust his spear as fast as machine gun shots towards Sam, no longer looking to aim precisely, but hoping to land at least once. At one particularly hard thrust, the guard leaned his body into the attack, but only managed to miss Sam by mere centimeters as Sam tilted to the side and let the spear cross over his chest without making contact. I looked to Diana, hoping that she could call off her guard, but she continued to stare at the floor, recuperating from Sam's attack. And now we had to choose. We're definitely going to tell Sam to knock the fuck off, Sam. Knock it the fuck off, man. I had to stop this from becoming worse. I stepped forward, not entirely getting between the two fighters, and shouted to get both of their attentions. Stop it! Sam looked at me, suddenly obeying my voice as it rang out through the room. The guard, however, leaned back for a second attack, uncaring of my command. Before the guard could follow through with his attack, a large snap echoed through the air, forcing everyone in the room, including me and Sam, to look over and see Diana glaring at her guard.
Enough!
Eesh. Diana slowly straightened and pointed at the space beside her, ushering the guard to quickly run over to where she had indicated and turned back to face the rest of us. Sam looked to me with eyes full of bloodlust, begging me silently to continue the fight. I glared back, trying to break through his rage to get him to calm down. He relented and gritted his teeth before nodding and looking over to Diana and her guard. Man, he is like attack first, questions later. He's not fucking around, man.
I'll
Sam.
forgive you for now, brute.
Sam don't give a shit.
Forgive me! What makes you think that the one who needs forgiving is me?
Sam got it all wrong, man.
I didn't do anything.
Then why is she here then? Sam!
Jesus, James. Sam and I turned to look at James, who was incredibly furious. By the look of it, the others were as well.
Look at her! Does she look like she's been hung during chains?
I've been having it pretty good here. It's not so bad, honestly. Sam looked at me as I met his gaze in almost perfect sync. I was indeed fine. Diana didn't hurt me. In fact, it had been the opposite. She wanted to protect me and send me home. The look in Sam's eyes, however, melted into one of longing and relief when he finally absorbed my appearance. It was like watching a beast instantly calm at the sight of its master. Without giving me a moment to breathe, he rushed over and wrapped me in his arms, burying his face into my shoulder. Sam.
I'm so happy you're safe.
Aw, I missed you, buddy. My heart melted as I heard him whisper in my ear. I gripped him tightly, returning the close embrace and thankful that I could feel the one I loved once again in my arms. Sam tightened his grip on me, nuzzling into my shoulder. Kiss him? Why would you not kiss him? Mwah, boy, I love you! I gently moved my head and kissed over his cheek and neck, wanting to show him my affection and relief that he was in my arms again. Sam shuddered slightly at the touch of my lips and planted his own loving kiss on my neck. Okay, when I said kiss him, I meant like, a quick peck on the lips, like, you guys there's people here, like, maybe let's save this for later, I don't know. Jesus. I fought back a moan at the rush of pleasure I felt from his lips touching my skin, managing to hide it. At last, Sam and I slowly broke away from each other. Sam looked over to Diana with a softer expression, but nonetheless, a serious one.
Why is she here?
Dude, I don't want to be here. She doesn't want me here either. Diana pressed her lips together. I could see a small form of hesitation in her eyes as she looked at Sam and quickly formulated her answer.
Ask your father.
Damn, boy. I felt a burst of angry energy flash beside me at her answer, which drew my attention back to Sam. His body became wrapped in a dark green aura as his eyes flashed gold once again.
What did you say?
Man, he gets angry fast.
Your father brought her here and placed a curse on her. She can't leave this world until she dies, or...
Another flash of energy. The aura around Sam pulsated, almost crackling like lightning around his form. Sam gritted his teeth, and I could tell rage was slowly taking over.
I'm gonna kill that old fuck!
Oh boy, Sam. Sam, come on, man! I quickly placed my hand on his shoulder, knowing that he needed to calm down. We had a plan. He didn't need to be this angry right now. Sam looked over at me, calming down slightly at the sight of my worried face. We're going to kill him, Sam. Calm down. The aura around Sam slowly began to dwindle and die out as the golden glow in his eyes faded. I let out a small sigh of relief as I felt the muscles in his shoulders relax under my hand. As I looked down, Sam spoke up once again, his voice sounding drained from his sudden rage.
Got a plan to kill him?
Kind of.
Yes. We plan to kill him in 1 week's time.
1 week?
Oh my god, that lady's so loud. Thing. I don't know what it is. Fairy.
Where is this number coming from, Succubus?
We need to fully prepare ourselves for the final stage, which I'm certain will only take a couple of days. We've pinned him into a corner. The Demon Lord will fall.
Yes.
That's rather bold to assume.
She's right, though. We can prepare everything in that time
Bitch, if you
frame,
can't, then you got a problem.
right?
And if he does the same and attacks us before then?
He won't.
Diana knows. Don't worry, we can trust her. I watched as Diana walked over and cleared the table of the materials they had gathered for the gate spell, revealing a physical map of the abyssal plains. She pointed to a spot on the map, a peninsula surrounded by water, labeled as the Decaying Sea.
We'll cast a barrier spell along the edge of the peninsula and around the castle. He and his army won't be able to move from that spot until we break it ourselves, which will be during the siege.
Where would we get the energy needed for that kind
And
of
here
spell?
comes our next decision.
We won't be using energy.
The other rebel demon in the room suddenly tensed up, staring at Diana in surprise. What was she gonna do?
My lady, you're not suggesting...
The Demon Lord has shown how far he is willing to go to win this war. It's only fitting to show the extent we'll go to in response.
As much as I agree with you, this seems a little...
Now,
reckless.
last time in Matthew's path, we chose not to go
What are you guys
the
talking
way that
about?
would be better for us, but would also kill someone, but now we're gonna do that.
Are they allowed to know?
Bitch, yes we are,
I
man.
plan to put a barrier curse around the Demon Lord's castle and army. It's temporary, so it won't need the blood of 1,000 demons. But it
Yes,
will need
and
the
we're gonna do that
sacrifice
this
of at least
time.
one demon life.
And I assume you'll be sacrificing one of my soldiers.
You know, I don't get why he's like the commander, leader of an army, fighter, and he is wearing the least amount of clothes besides Diana. That's really weird, man. I would think he'd be like decked out in armor. I mean, man, what are you doing? Come on.
Is this our only option?
Yes.
There are other options,
Eh.
but they will most likely take a lot of energy to pull off.
It just depends on what we want to do. If we want to do this immediately, then the barrier curse is indeed the best option.
Indeed.
I'm not opposed to performing the curse. As rash as it is, it will make our lives easier in the long run.
Yes.
You expect me to hand over one of my men? My soldiers joined the rebellion to kill the Demon Lord, not to get their throats slit before even seeing the final battle?
All right, man. Calm your tits.
But can we really afford to spend any more energy?
She
Diana
did.
already
She did
spent
spend a lot.
trying to send a human back.
All for nothing, pretty much.
What is the other option?
The rabbit woman and the fairy moved towards the map and pointed at the peninsula.
Form tall rock walls around the castle. Box him in.
It will take a lot of our energy, but we can recover in that week period.
And what will stop the Demon Lord from tearing down the walls?
The magic.
I can imbue the walls with holy magic.
Boom. The incubi and I looked at him, all of us equally as surprised. A demon with holy magic? How?
How the fuck did you get holy magic? You look and smell like a demon.
The guard held up his wrapped hand, letting the beads around it jangle with a sudden motion.
I've had the ability to use holy magic ever since I was taken in by my lady's family. There's no doubt that I am a demon, but I can't recall how I gained this ability.
Surprise! I don't think we ever find out either. How is holy magic different than demon magic?
It's white
That's a stupid question.
Unlike demon magic, holy magic isn't so finicky. Think of it as warding or dispelling magic. You can't bless air or anything that doesn't have physical form.
Yes, yes,
But you can
yes.
bless objects to fight back against other forms of magic.
If the walls were blessed with holy magic, the Demon Lord wouldn't be able to escape until we released him.
Why not just trap him forever?
Yep,
He will
there we
still
go
be
with that.
Regardless, holy magic doesn't last forever, and stone will crumble eventually.
He's right. We wouldn't be able to keep the walls up.
Let's make
forever.
our decision. Chop, chop, people. The situation became more and more complicated the more we discussed it. How are we going to go about this?
We can't just sit around and debate this forever. The longer we wait, the more we risk him striking
That's
back
true.
at us.
But is it worth killing someone to trap him?
This time it is.
When we finally strike, we will lose hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers anyway. What difference will it make to lose one more life on top of this?
Soulless.
Jesus.
We can still cage him in.
I bit my lip. It was a really tough decision. A curse or a trap. Which was better? Both had their prices, but we had to choose one. From the look of it, no one wanted to speak up, so I felt the urge to say something. Maybe I'd be the one who would determine everything, because I always am. But which method would be the best choice? Curse. Everyone in the room looked at me in surprise as I finally spoke up. The Demon Lord had trapped me here with the blood of 1,000 demons. It was only fair to trap him with the life of